Google AdWords, I think it is one of the number one ways to get yourself seen online. You have a website, but you need people to get to it. Now, I used Gaggle. Now, I still use Google AdWords to this day, but being on Google for so long, my natural searches are mostly what sends people there. The Google AdWords doesn't. I think my Google AdWords bill is maybe $20 to $30 a month. Before that, in my first few years, it was a little higher. Basically, Google AdWords works by you set an amount that you're going to bid for each click, and depending if you're bidding more than other people in your area, and you most likely will be, because a lot of tent companies, they just don't use Google AdWords. They're just relying on word of mouth or just people naturally finding them online. So like if you just bid 20 cents per click, you're probably going to be one of the first listings. And then when someone clicks and actually goes to your site, then you get charged. But you can actually set a weekly, monthly, or even a daily limit on how much. So you can just set $5 a day, and you won't be hit with a huge bill because you set your actual limit. Now, Google AdWords was easy for me because I grew up with computers. I work with computers every day. I worked in office jobs with computers. I did Photoshop. I did lots of computer stuff. So it was fairly easy for me. I say easy. It still took a few hours of messing around and looking things up. And I did get the, a year later, I got the Google AdWords for Dummies book. So I'm going to actually put a link for that down in the description, and a link to another book, one that's not so much for dummies. But I'd say spend a few bucks to get the Google AdWords for Dummies books. It taught me a few things that I didn't know. Like I'm in New York State. I'm in upstate central New York near Syracuse, if you guys know that name, Syracuse, Orange, the basketball team. Or I actually live between Utica and Rome. And for you older folks out there, Rome was where Woodstock 99 was. But anyways, it's actually called Central New York. So on my Google AdWords and stuff, I had Central New York as some of the keywords, like tent rentals, Central New York. I ended up getting tons and tons and tons of phone calls from New York City, at least one a day, sometimes more. And it just wasted time. Even if it was only 30 seconds, it was time that I wasn't hammering a stake or putting up a tent or whatever. So the Google AdWords for Dummies book taught me that you can exclude certain searches. Like if someone searches for tent New York City, I used to come up because I said New York in there, or Central New York City, or tent Central Park, because I'm upstate Central New York. So I excluded all those keywords, and now I don't get any of those wasted phone calls for New York City. I always used to get calls for bounce houses too, and I don't do bounce houses. So I excluded everything, every keyword I can think of: bounce house rentals, inflatable rentals, moon jump rentals, bouncy fun castles rentals. So I don't get any phone calls for those anymore. And then I excluded like apartment rentals and other things that could have rentals in it, car rentals. So I was getting a few phone calls for those. So even though I thought, I was pretty good at Google AdWords, it still taught me a few things. So Google AdWords is going to be one of the best things to drive traffic to your site. The $30 you spend a month on advertising there is going to get you 10 to 1,000 times that profit for that year. So it's one of the cheapest, easiest ways to get people to your site. You don't need to advertise in bridal magazines. You don't need to advertise in golf pamphlets. You don't have to put your thing in the church bulletin. Just Google AdWords and boost a Facebook post every once in a while. $20, it goes out all over the place. But Google AdWords, and I get that a lot of you aren't like that great with computers, but it is really not that hard, especially if you just read one of these books. Like I said, I didn't read the book in the beginning. I just fumbled along, but I'm glad I did later on because it taught me about that exclusion thing which makes me not have to take phone calls from people looking for tents 6 hours away from me in New York City anymore, and keeps the bounce house people from calling me. So, like I said, the link is below. I actually read the Google for AdWords for Dummies. I don't know if it's the same edition because mine was 8 to 10 years ago. But new editions don't change that much, so should be updated and better. And there's another book that I did not read, but my friend did, and that's the one that he said he used. I didn't read it, so it seems like it's gonna be good. But I'm gonna put both of those links down in the description. Remember, Google AdWords. Don't be afraid of it. Just set it up. Set a limit. Set a limit up of $10 a month or whatever, just to see how it goes. I was gonna say one more thing. What was I gonna say? I don't know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I remember what I was gonna say. You're gonna get tons of phone calls for people trying to optimize SEO, search engine optimize your Google AdWords and your website. You don't need it. They want to charge hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to do exactly what you can do on your own in Google AdWords. They're just soliciting you. They're scamming you. Don't fall for it. Spend the, $20-24 for a book, learn it, and then you are just as good as they are. Well, they might be a little better, but you don't need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars for search engine optimization. You can do it for basically free on Google AdWords. The only cost is you learning it, either watching YouTube videos or getting one of the books that I got listed below. Whenever they call me, I like to keep them on the phone and mess with them. And I say, everything that you're trying to get me to pay for, I already know how to do. And they're like, oh, really, really? And I say, yeah, I'm smarter than you. I can probably do this better than you. And they're like, you're not smarter than me. I went to school for this. I said, no, you didn't. You're just lying. I can do this better than you. So stop calling me. Then they get all mad and huffy puffy and then hang up on me. I just like to do it. But don't fall for it. Just learn it yourself some way. Anyway, don't fall for the search engine optimization. Now, thank you for watching.